Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and hurt you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and fuck you.
Okay. Let's get to the nitty gritty. I want to start doing a weekly video recap of my fantasy football league. So, we're going to get started. We're going to stream this. I'll probably put it on YouTube, all that fun stuff. But this is the league that I am the commissioner in. This is my favorite league to be a part of. It was the Florida 14. We lost 2 members this past season, so we are now the Tampa 12. We had a live draft for the first time in many, many years. It was a lot of fun. That video you saw was just one snippet of us all getting together and having a good time. We laughed, we drank, we ate, we had a good time. Fun times were had, and we filled out our rosters, which we thought were good ideas at the time. Some better than others in week 1. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the week 1 results. And I guess we can start with my team. Maximus Primes. It is a play on an old pet I had and an Autobot kind of. But anyways, I was playing against my brother, Shake and Bake, and I ended up getting stomped. So let's take a look at box score. See what went wrong. Well, the projections were nice. The end results were not. My first round pick, Jamar Chase, gave me a whopping 3.6 points. That is not gonna cut it for my first round pick. I'm gonna need better from him in the future. I also made the mistake of starting Drake May over Justin Fields. Who would have thought? Justin Fields ended up being a pretty solid selection, and I was worried that the Steelers' defense was going to stymie him. He was going to have a bad outing. And I thought the Raiders would be easier for Drake to score on. That did not end up the way I expected. I'm gonna need more out of my running backs, Marion Hampton and Isaiah Pacheco. Did not do much. They almost didn't even score 10 points combined. It's terrible. My wide receiver 2, Garrett Wilson, had a good game. I should have just kept with the double dip. Him and Justin Fields, college teammates reunited. Seems like it might be good for them. We'll see. Brock Bowers, solid. He got a little banged up. We'll see what his stats is. To DeAndre Swift, had a lot of opportunities. Didn't really get anything going against Minnesota. Bills D, that was just a mistake. I thought they had a good matchup in the following weeks, and I just wanted to take an L basically with my defense in week 1 and then hope that they would perform better in following weeks. That didn't work out for me because I ended up dropping the Bills anyway. So Uh, got L. On my bench, I had mentioned Justin Fields. 29 points would have been nice. Still, even if I had subbed him out, I still would have lost. I would have needed to put in a better defense to actually have a chance. Jalen Waddle, pretty much the entire Dolphins team except for A-Chain had a bad performance. That's expected. Travis Hunter, his first game, he was just kind of out there. He'll probably get more reps in his second stint with the Jaguars. Charbonnet is actually pretty enticing. Ken Walker did have. I'm actually pretty um, excited to see what he can do. He might be able to become one of my running backs in the future. And Trey Benson also had some decent looks in his second year, so we'll see. Yeah, so my brother, he stomped me. His Baker Mayfield was solid. He gave him more points than expected. A-Chain pretty much did exactly what he was supposed to. Same with Kamara. Jefferson didn't have the greatest game, but much better than Jamar Chase. So, you really can't complain. Jackson Smith and Jigba, great select. Really wanted him. He didn't fall to me. Andrews did not perform. Jalen Warren did. HD was whatever. Tyler Loop had. But he also has bench. Stephon Diggs is whatever. Keon Coleman, solid. Goddard, probably be a better start than Andrews. We'll see. Dylan Sampson, solid. And Cam Ward's just there, I guess, for when Baker goes by. We both have injured players. Brandon Ayuk. Who knows when they come. But yeah, there was a lot of mistakes I made. I almost traded away Justin Fields. Oops. But yeah, good thing I didn't. He's probably gonna be a good pick this year. Here's hoping. I'm hoping him and Garrett Wilson continue to have good chemistry, and I'm also hoping Jamar Chase gets out of his funk. But yeah, week 1 wasn't the best for me. Here's hoping week 2's better. But yeah, GG's to my bro. He bested me this week. Let's move on. So the next one we've got Christian Mingles and the Factory of Sadness. Looks like the Factory of Sadness ended up being the triumphant team. They were the first to pick defense and a kicker, and both of them did pretty well, way over expected results. So that ended up paying dividends. He does have 3 Broncos, so I think he might. He got hurt, but he's probably going to hold on to Art. But what went well for him? Jaden Daniels, solid. Ashton Genty and Chuba Hubbard, his 1-2 punch with the running back, they did good. Brian Thomas Jr., surprisingly quiet. Jameson Williams, also kind of quiet. And Ingram got hurt. RJ Harvey, his first start, didn't do too bad. And let's see, on his bench, he's got Roma Dunze, who was one of the better Bear receivers out there. Tank Bigsby got traded, probably got cut. Well, Dalton Kincaid, he's he has a Ingram replacement already. Dante Thornton, his first outing was okay, and the other rookie Eric Ayomanor, didn't really get to see from him either. But all in all, solid outing. He got the win. Let's look at Danny's squad. Danny did not get good performances from most of his team. Jalen Hurts and Christian McCaffrey, they were the brunt of his points. McCaffrey didn't even score a touchdown and got 18.7 points, which is pretty good. So when he's healthy, he's going to be solid. David Montgomery, Nico Collins underperformed. Lad McConkey, seems like there's going to be other pass catchers there, so maybe he will be Um, his projections won't be as high as previously expected. Hawkinson and Devonta Smith, they kind of underperformed. Danny had the same kind of thought as me, get a good defense and kind of hold on to them, except that week one, it was an explosion of offense, so we both took negatives there. And Jake Elliott was solid. Like, on his bench, he's got Jordan Love, he's got Josh Downs, Rashad White, Brian Robinson, and Jordan Mason looked really good as a Minnesota Viking. I wanted this guy on my team, but I didn't get him. The rest of the guys underperformed, but Downs and White are coming off of injuries, so they're probably still ramping up. Brian Robinson just got traded. He's got CMC's backup. There's that. So Pat probably sitting high. He earned a win in week one. Danny needs to find some solutions. Although his week two opponent, I hear, is out for blood. We'll see. All right, next matchup. We got the Ginger Separists versus the Pickle Fights. Smitty ended up winning week one against Dan. So we have a Danny and a Dan. So lots of Dans in our league. But Smitty, he got good performances from most of his guys. Look at that. Pretty much everybody except for his defense and kicker got double digit. That's what you want to see from your team. Lamar, Saquon, Kyron, Cortland Sutton, DK Metcalf, Tyler Warren, Pearsall. That's a pretty good start to his season. Even some points on the bench. Kobe Myers, Jaden Reed, Ollie Gordon, and Nick Chubb are there. I think he already got rid of Ollie, but pretty solid in his week one debut. Over on Dan's side, he lost Xavier Worthy almost instantly, so that was unfortunate. He also had a dud of a performance from AJ Brown. That didn't help him out. He also didn't have a good performance from Ken Walker. So, yeah, he a lot of his starters underperformed, but he's got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had a good game. Puka Nacua had a good game. His kicker Boswell had a good game. Everyone else really let him down. Trevion Henderson, he's a rookie. He had a good performance for his. I would, but the Xavier Worthy injury was unfortunate, and I'm not really sure what's going on with it. But there'll probably be better games for him. On his bench, he's got Ja'Cory Cross Merritt. A pretty solid debut. Rashi Rice is suspended. Chris Godwin is hurt. Bayshaw Tootin probably going to get more looks now that Tank got traded in Jacksonville. And Khalil Shakir was. But yeah, Smitty, best Dan. Next matchup, we have the high score of the week go to Kyle, your face, against Tom, no regrets. 153.6. He put a stomping on Tom. It was quite the showing. Almost doubled. But yeah, like this is domination. He had Josh Allen and Derrick Henry. Josh Jacobs had a good game. Mike Evans was just okay, but Debo went off. Laporta had a good game. Aaron Jones had a good game. The Packers D looks solid. And Cameron Dicker was also good. On his bench, Justice Hill and Jared Goff and Cooper Kupp. Not the best game. Rashid Shaheed was also okay. And Jordan Addison is suspended for 2 months. But yeah, it's a hell of a way to start the season. We'll see if he can keep it up. On Tom's side, Bo Nix had a pretty subpar performance against Tennessee. You'd like to see the second-year quarterback bounce back from that. Bucky was good. Tyrone Tracy let him down. Amon let him down. George Pickens, his first game with Dallas wasn't anything special. George Kittle looked like he was heading towards a great game and then got hurt, so that's unfortunate. The Niners defense was solid. Harrison Butker was solid. So, um, I wouldn't worry. I mean, he had Justin Herbert on the bench, but how would you know to start him over? It's the unfortunate things of the first week. You never really can tell um, if the players and teams are going to perform the same way they had been, or if you know, sophomore slumps or anything like that. Caleb Johnson didn't really do anything. Olave was okay. Scadaboo also. So he's got both shots. Both special. Justin Herbert's had a really good game. If Herbert is going to be slinging the ball like he did in week 1, that he might have a QB, uh, dilemma whether he sticks with Knicks or if he goes with Herbert. Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue. Miles Sanders looked good until he fumbled, and Jaden Blue was a healthy screen. So, we'll see. He's gonna. I think he already picked up a tight end. Oh, I forgot. I didn't mention Marvin Harris. Did I? He was solid. His second year. So we'll see if that he can keep up that. But yeah, here's hoping there's better outcome for Tom. House, he started off in a slump last year, so it's nice to see him jump out of the gate with. Let's see what happens. Moving on, we've got the champ, Bishotazo, Sam versus full-blooded tampons, Casey. And the champ started his opportunity to repeat with a win. Kyler, Chase Brown, James Conner, Malik was he was targeted a lot, but the Giants' offense didn't really get going. Terry, he's probably still got to get his feet under him. He spent the entire offseason contract dispute. Travis Kelce, he just needed to injure Xavier Worthy, and then he got going, right? Is that what happened? DJ Moore, I'm just happy to see DJ Moore come out of that game unscathed. He looked like he was really hurt. Bucks D, they were in kind of a shootout against Atlanta, and Cam Little, the 70-yard field goal maker, had a pretty good debut. So up and down for Sam, but he ended up with the dub. Javonte Williams on his bench, Keenan Allen on his bench, Sam Darnold, Colston Loveland, Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen got a touchdown, and he still only scored 6 points. That's great. So we'll see what Sam can do as he tries to reap. On the other side, we've got Pessoa. He drafted Joe Burrow, who let him down tremendously. Maybe that's because he wasn't throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. Jahmyr Gibbs was okay. You want more from your first round pick. Breece Hall looked great. We'll see if he can keep that up. Drake got hurt. Tyreek, the Dolphins are a mess. And Njoku got outsnapped by another tight end on his team, which is kind of crazy. Judy was fine. The Steelers were in a shootout, which is why they underperformed. And Chase McLaughlin missed a couple important kicks. Fix that. On his bench, though, he had some players. J.K. Dobbins and Michael Pittman. Pretty solid, so maybe he'll need to make some adjustments to his starting lineup. He's also had Najee Harris, who's coming back from an injury. Tucker Kraft only with 8.9 points, even with the touchdown, and C.J. Stroud, pretty but yeah, better luck next week for KC, and Sam, he can fuck a goats. Next up, we've got the South Tampa Duds versus the Black Obi-Wans. That's Brandon versus Chase. Brandon was the first pick in the draft. He went with Bijan Robinson over Jamar Chase, and after 1 week, that seems to be the right choice. Bijan came out the gate, had a 50-yard touchdown against Tampa, and looked to be supremely dominant. But after that, he was kind of quiet. So Tampa did a good job of adjusting after giving up that huge score. But yeah, his other players were Trevor Lawrence didn't perform well. James Cook was solid. Tet, his first game was okay. Matthew Golden could definitely have a more had better performances in the future. Trey McBride was solid. Zay Flowers, big time performance. Um, we'll see if he can keep that up with the Ravens. Vikings were fine. Vikings kicker was also on his bench. We got Ridley, Stevenson, Etienne. Etienne, that might be a really good uh, player moving forward. Tillman and JJ McCarthy, as well as Darnell. So he's got some firepower on his bench. We'll see. And for Chase, it wasn't great. He started out with CeeDee Lamb, who at the beginning of that game looked really good, but then after the weather delay, couldn't catch any more passes. So it is what it is. Jonathan Taylor was also fine. He got a little banged up in that game, which I'm wondering if that's why his stats aren't as good, because they were also blowing out the Dolphins, so maybe they didn't use him as much as they normally would. But Dak didn't throw any touchdowns. Pollard didn't score. T. Higgins was a result of the Bengals offense just kind of underperforming. Kyle Pitts, maybe this is the year. We'll see. We'll see with Pitts. Devontae Adams was fine. Eagles D against Dallas, whatever. And Matt Gay, um, probably can do better than that. But on his bench, he had Emeka Ibuka, the Bucks rookie. And I would imagine that will be someone that he put his starting lineup forward. Eckler, Jennings, Ford, and Higgins all were kind of whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's the week one breakdown. So yeah, Shake and Bake over the Primes, Factory of Sadness over the Mingles, Ginger Separatist over Tickle Fight, Your Face over No Regrets, Bichotazo over the Tampons, and the South Tampa Duds over the Obi-Wan. It was an interesting week one for sure. Um, so adjustments were made. Pacheco underperformed, so I moved him to my bench. I moved DeAndre Swift to my RB2, hoping that he can perform a little bit better than what he showed uh, in week one. He had a lot of opportunities. Hampton's still a rookie. He wasn't great. 15 carries, 48 yards, 2 receptions. The 3.2 average is not amazing, but the Chiefs, their defense is solid. So maybe it was a little bit of Brazil. Maybe it was a little bit of rookie, rookies trying to get their feet active. Uh, so yeah. So those are my. I'm going with Fields moving forward. I have a trade for Fields. Line. So Cedric Tillman and Caleb Williams Fields. I moving forward. Yeah. Uh, we'll see what Fields can do moving forward. I'm pretty close to dropping Drake. If I need something else, he's. Also, I don't need Brandon Ayuk. If any of my other players go out, he will be um, he will be cut from the team, and then someone else will take the IR spot. But Jamar Chase, Jacksonville should be a good bounce back game. Garrett Wilson to pair with Justin Fields should be good. Hopefully Brock Bowers is fine. He was a little banged up against the Patriots, but there hasn't been another update. So still kind of waiting to see what his practice reports are. Jalen Waddle, uh, didn't really want to draft Jalen Waddle, but here I am again with Waddle on my team. He will sit on my bench for a while. Maybe he performs against New England, maybe not. Charbonnet, I was pretty close to starting Charbonnet, but I'm opting with Travis Hunter. Cincinnati's defense isn't great, so hopefully it's good on both sides. Hopefully Cincinnati and Jacksonville can score some points in that game. I dropped the Bills D. I'm going with the Rams. They are playing against Cam Ward. I and Jaime Fairbairn. He was good. He had 3 field goals and made them all, but then Houston's off. Stop. Stop. Trey Benson and Charbonnet are kind of just holds. Pacheco really let me down. I was hoping to see better from him in week 1. But yeah, Drake and Pacheco are kind of on the outs. Waddle, I'm just kind of holding on to Waddle for now. There's a lot of talks that Tyreek Hill might get traded from the Miami Dolphins, which would make Waddle the kind of de facto #1 receiver on the team, even though he can't stay healthy now for whatever reason. But he's kind of like a wait and see. And then Drake May, I was really hoping for better against the Raiders, so that wasn't the only reason I lost. But yeah, seeing Justin Fields kind of just light up the Steelers, who I thought were a good defense, definitely was kind of like an eyebrow. So sticking with Fields for now. We'll see how week 2 goes. That's a lot of good matchups, but it's only 1 week, so there's not a lot of data to say whether these teams are, as far as like matchup. So that's what I'm going with. The waivers. Projectors. The top projection is Trevor Lawrence. He's going up against Cincinnati. No desire to pick up Sunday. Although I do want to see him target Travis Hunter. It'd be great. But there are not a lot of promising QBs on the waivers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is sitting there. He had a great week 1. So he could be someone to sneakily add. Steelers out. They've got Seattle. Seattle's got a good defense. Then New England, Minnesota, and then a bye. So maybe he could be a quarterback to grab after their bye. Cleveland's not great matchup. Since he's good. Green Bay's not great. Indy was good against Chargers are fun. It's the pretty quick session. Chicago, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, Cleveland. He's got some good matchups. So he might be someone to monitor. Everyone else I'm not really interested in. Daniel Jones was just as good as Justin Fields, but still no one took a chance at him because he's also playing Denver this week, so I think the wheels might fall off the Colts off. Smith threw the ball a lot. So we'll see if that up. Tua was terrible. He needs to leave. No one else really. I guess there's a chance Jackson Dart steps up and solid. Running backs are a wasteland. Kenneth Gainwell's there. He had a pretty good first game with the Steelers, but there's no real rush to pick him up. As you can see, Ollie Gordon got dropped. Miles Sanders got dropped. Justin Hill got dropped. Kendre Miller could be something if uh, Kamara gets hurt, but that seems off. Don't really want any pieces of that offense. And there's also Tajay Spears still up. But yeah, it's all just kind of like crap. What running back, wide receiver. There's a little bit more players to look after. Jawan Jennings is there. He got banged up, but he might play, and they might need him with Kittle out. So we'll. Christian Kirk is there. Romeo Dobbs, Wendell Robinson, the PPR. Bateman, we'll see. But yeah, there's some other like second tier players. See what but don't really want any of those. If Brock Bowers is hurt, Ferguson and Jawan Johnson or Brent Strange, I'd probably have to go with Strange. Actually, I'd probably go with Ferguson. Just because they're playing the Giants, and the Giants let Zach Ertz score a touchdown. So I'm just gonna kind of follow the trend and say that if Brock Bowers does miss time, Fergie selection and hope for more tight targets. Dak was looking his way. There was just Philly's defense. Defenses, the Bills who I dropped, the Vikings are solid. The Vikings are gonna have a good defense, but they play Atlanta and Cincinnati, and then Pittsburgh seems like a solid offense. Rodgers. They might not have good performance. There's no one that really take a stab at. Seattle, they're portion. And then kickers. It's a kicker. If your kicker does bad, grab a kicker that's doing good. Like the number one kicker in the league is still available. But yeah, that is our recap. Week 1. I get Danny this week. Shake and Bake gets Smitty. Factor of Sadness gets Dan and Sam go at it. Kyle and Chase go at it. And Casey and Brandon. Should be fun week 2. But until then, guys, that's it for me. Catch y'all later. Peace.